Bonjour! My name is Amanda. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I'm a 9th year teacher, and this upcoming year I'm teaching grade 1 to French Immersion. My task right now is to take the books that I've purchased and acquired over the summer and catalog them. So I'm going to show you what my classroom book storage space looks like at home, and then I'll walk you through what exactly I do to attempt to keep all of that stuff organized. This here is my classroom book read aloud storage that I keep at home. Everything is organized into different themes. So I have like some ABED and social justice. These are like for fun. My Pride or Soji books. I have a bunch of different themes, and I'll show you that when I flip you around to the computer. You can see that there isn't much space left, and that is an issue I need to figure out. So this is the collection of books that I have accumulated over the summer. It's bigger than I intended it to be, but smaller than it has been in previous years. So this little pile over here are leveled readers, and let me check if they have the level on it. So these are from Strong Nations, which is one of my favorite places to get Indigenous books. And when I say Indigenous books, I mean like where there's often Indigenous themes that are covered, or they're written by someone from the Indigenous community, someone of Indigenous background. And let's see, there doesn't seem to be is there a reading level in here? Yeah, so the reading level is already in here. So I have some round stickers that I normally stick on the covers for leveled readers in my classroom, so that will be a separate task, but I will stamp my name on the inside of all of these books. This pile is the bigger issue. Not necessarily issue, but the bigger task. So for each of these books, what I'll be doing is I'll put a label with my name on the front cover. I do that because if these books are in my classroom library, I want them to be easy to, I want it to be easy to find which books are mine versus which belong to the school. Just based on experience of having set up 10 classrooms in 9 years. So anyways, pro tip, if you're going to label your books, include something on the outside so you know that it is yours and not the school's. So I will put a label on the outside, but I will also stamp my name on the inside, and then I catalog them into my computer. So that's what you will see next. So this is the Google Doc that I use to track all of my personal books. There are some books that I buy specifically for the class library for students to have access to whenever. And sometimes with those, like the most I'll do is just stamp my name or put my name label and then just toss it into our class library. These ones I do have themed because a lot of them have instructional lessons that could be attached to it or art ideas. So it's often a read aloud with purpose. So these I will link in my LinkedIn profile on my Instagram account, which is @islandteaching if you don't follow already. So what I do have, this page for example is my math books. So I have all the titles in alphabetical order, an X to indicate if this book is in French. A lot of math books or books that have possible math tie-ins are in English, but I will still use them. And then what strand of math those tie into. So number sense, financial literacy, measurement, geometry, probability, and other. And so when I'm looking for text to support number sense, for example, it's pretty easy for me to find which books touch on that. So it's a long list. Means I have more books than I need, but I enjoy books. Like my master's is in language and literacy, so I have a tab for math, science, art, indigenous titles, nature, community, social and emotional learning, language. So these ones are all in French, and these are like the little notes that I have on the side are for the 6 traits of writing, or 6+1 traits of writing. So I have that as well. I have books that are LGBTQ to IA+. Then some categories I'm still working on, for example, are the Black history, social justice, and biographies, because there's a lot of overlap between those. So when I look at the Black History Month, for example, it isn't as full as I thought it would be, but that's because a lot of the titles tie in elsewhere as well. And then I have some books that are just for fun, and any little ideas that I have for them as well. I did my master's research on wordless picture books and using that to foster oracy in emergent multilinguals. So I have a list of some of my favorite wordless picture books that I do own. Then here I have books by my monthly bins. So in a previous video I showed you like my September bin, and so I keep a list of the books that are in those bins. So if I'm looking for a book that isn't in one of the categories, then I know where to find it. Then I have a pile of books that come with a CD for listening centers. I have my Pete the Cat, Elephant and Piggy, and graphic novels. What I'm going to do next is take each book and think what one category would I sort it into. So this one, if it's language, then I'd open up my language tab on my Google Doc, insert the information that I need for this, and then attempt to find space in my at-home read aloud closet. And if there isn't space, then I'll see if there are any books that I haven't used for a while and see if I can move them into my classroom collection. The reason I have a lot of books here is because I've been in and out of so many different classrooms. I've found that a lot of my stuff has gone missing. So I like to know where it is, and then for insurance purposes as well, it makes more sense for me to keep these here. And I do have a healthy collection in my classroom too, and then I can rotate if and when needed. So what I'm going to do now is input all of these books into my spreadsheet. So I'm taking a quick break. I will go through the rest probably off camera. Sorry. So I will probably go through the rest off camera, but I wanted to just mention like why I do this. And part of it is because I do live with the OCD, and so organization is like a huge thing that, or like lack of, causes me a lot of stress. And this is one thing that I appreciate having for an overwhelming amount of books. So yeah, one of the reasons I do it is really just to help keep me calm, and I feel like it's a healthier way to release like this obsession with organization. So that's one thing. Another thing though is like, because I have so many books, it can be tough to find like something specific or something that I'm looking for, and it's easy to forget what I have as well. So this is something where I could be like planning at school and think like, oh, like is there like, what book do I have that matches this, and I can quickly look it up and see. When I loan out books to other teachers, I'm able to just make a quick note here of who has it. So it did take a lot of work up front to set this up, like for sure. And it is a lot of work. It's something I try to maintain once a month. So like if I'm purchasing any books throughout the school year, then in September I'll like make a pile of books, and then I'll pick like one weekend, just like, I don't know, about an hour, if that, to just update this document. So this is really how like I organize my books, and it's worked really well for me. Like I've had this running for, I want to say 3 years now, really since I've been in an elementary classroom with a lot of read alouds. For the first 5 years of my career, I was teaching high school, so I didn't really have this many picture books. In hindsight, I probably would definitely have more picture books for high school, but now I have a lot more. Not a lot of space in the classroom, so I like to store it here. And then in terms of insurance purposes, like I've known teachers who have lost all of their things because of like water damage or fires in their classrooms, and unfortunately not, like districts don't cover much, if anything, for any personal property loss. I believe the district I'm currently with covers maybe $100 to $150, and hardcover French books, like this right here could be all that's covered. So I like to have these at home for that as well, which is an awful thing to think about, but c'est la vie. Yeah, so I'm going to keep working on this, and I'll check in with you later. Okay, so all of the books are input into my Google Drive. I decided to stamp afterwards, just so the computer part went by a bit faster. The stamp, it has my name on it, and this was from Staples, and it was a same day thing. I've used it in a lot of books. I would definitely recommend it. It lasts a lot longer than I thought it would. And then I also have some labels with my name on it. These are also from Staples. I ordered a bunch and I haven't run out yet. So next up for me, they're all in my drive, is stamping, labeling, and then putting into the closet. I'll also pull out any books I know that I'll be using September, October. I like to have like a nice collection all at once, so it's less going back and forth. One thing that I also appreciate about having everything on Google Drive is when I'm inputting books, I can quickly figure out which ones I have multiple copies of. So I bought this book. I already have this book, so this is one that's just going to go straight into my classroom library. Sometimes if I think it's something that students won't be as interested in on their own, then I like to gift books to some other teacher friends. So that's pretty much how I keep my books organized. It works for me, and it's worked for me for about 3 years now, so I'm happy with the system, but it did take a bit of tweaking to find something that I did enjoy using, and that was more manageable for me to keep up with. So with that, I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching, and à la prochaine!
Goodbye.